Okay. Good morning. My name is Yeri Olivares. I am the Chief Operating Officer and CDFI Executive Director here at the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Today we are hosting a pitch competition application Q&A session. So we want this to be an interactive Q&A session. I am here to help answer any questions you may have. I do also have just a brief presentation of reminders that I'm going to discuss and go over today, but I did want to allow this opportunity for any of you that may have some questions that we can just make some questions live and we can help answer those questions for you. So after my brief presentation, I will open it up for a discussion and answer all of your questions today. So the first thing that I want to go over is the timeline for this pitch competition. So we opened up the pitch application. We also have, we did extend the deadline. So the deadline for you to complete the application is this Friday, August the 4th. We do have the investor kickoff happening here pretty soon. And so what's going to happen is once the deadline closes, the investors will start reviewing the applications and they will select anywhere from 10 to 12 top applications. Through that, there's going to be a due diligence process that happens through September and October that will then select the top 6 applicants that will then go to the live finale event, the live pitch competition, which is set to be November the 3rd. Now, in the information sessions that we hosted, you all know that the pitch competition application needs to be submitted through a platform called Gust. This platform will, once you submit a profile information in your email to create your account, you do have to do a verification. So an email link will be sent to your email so you can verify your account and then be able to update all of your profile information. So make sure that you keep an eye out for that if you already haven't done so, that you confirm your account through that email link that's going to be sent over to you. And this is just for verification and security purposes. There is a $99 application fee. So make sure that you do submit that. Now, for those of you, what I mentioned in the past, for those of you that have won a pitch competition in the past, there is a application fee waiver. So if you are participating in this pitch competition and as an incentive, if this is something you would like to apply for as well, we are offering a fee waiver. So please reach out to us if this applies to you. A few key points that I wanted to share about the Gust platform. When you create your profile within this platform, you can actually update your profile and your information at any time, even after you submit your application. I know that some of you, the questions that we were getting was, you know, I already started filling out my information. Can you see it? Or can you let me know if you see it on your end? We cannot see it until you actually submit it. But one of the things that we do want to tell you is don't be afraid to submit it now, because you can always go back and make edits to it. So for example, up until Friday, the deadline, you can submit it and that's the way that we'll be able to see it on our end, but it doesn't mean that that's like the final time you're going to have to be able to update your information. You can always go back, continue to make edits even after the deadline. And as we move forward, for those of you that make it to the semifinals and the finalists, you will always have the opportunity to go back and make edits into your profile in this Gust platform. In addition, this platform will serve for you as a business, as an individual. You can actually continue using it for future investments. So let's say that you become aware of a pitch competition that's happening in the Bay Area or in San Diego, and they're using this platform. Investors have access as well through investor profiles so that you can continue sharing your Gust profile outside of this pitch competition. So that's an added benefit that we wanted to make sure that you were all aware of. And one of the things that a feature that is very neat that I think you can also take advantage of is when you're completing your profile, there is an evaluate feature. So as you're putting information on your profile, it'll give you some feedback. It does have some artificial intelligence built into the platform where it'll give you feedback based on the information you're plugging in. So for example, if you're plugging in information about the type of product or the service, how you're selling, what your business model is, the Gus platform itself will give you some feedback as to what investors may potentially think of your current business model. So if you haven't used it already, I would suggest that you take advantage of that feature so that you can get some feedback from the system itself. I do have a couple of frequently asked questions I want to go over with you before I open it up for discussion. One of the first questions we're getting is, do I need to have everything done before the application deadline? And I just answered that question earlier, which is no. You can always go back, of course, up until when the investors start reviewing, you can continue to make additions to it or make revisions. You don't need to have everything 100% complete now, especially for those of you that will be moving on to the semifinals and the final round. We will let you know that you can continue making adjustments because we know things could change. It could be that you have a significant sell during this time period. The platform will allow you to continue making these changes. Another frequently asked question that we get is, who is an ideal applicant, for this competition itself? We touched this on the information session as well, but I just wanted to make it a reminder that we're looking to have businesses or individuals with ideas that are based here in the United States, that you're close enough to Fresno. As you all may remember, this initiative is to help businesses here in the Central Valley. We have a priority of focusing with businesses here in the region. But you want to be able to be close enough to Fresno where you can have interactions with the investors regularly. You can be part of any industry, you can be at any stage, whether you're just in the idea development or whether you're a recent startup or you've been in business for a couple of years, you're ready to scale. We're also looking to identify those individuals that have the potential for a 10-time return on their investment within the next 5 years. So if this is the right timing for you, we talked about the last time, if this is the right timing for your idea, for your business to scale, this is who we're looking for in this competition. And as well, that you have a large addressable market size, that you have a plan for the business to scale, and that you have the right team that can help you execute that, because that's going to be key. We also touched on this during the info session, that you want to make sure that you have the right team, part of your business, to be able to help you execute this. What happens after apply? So once you submit all of the applications, once the deadline comes for August the 4th, the investors will convene so that they can review all of the applications, and they will select the 10 to 12 top applicants that will then move on to the next round. Once those individuals have been notified and have been informed that they have been selected, we will then let everybody else know, so that you are aware whether or not your application has moved to the next round. The next question is, how do I make a video? There is a section on the profile application that suggests that you add a video. Now, this part of the application, it's not a requirement, but it will help your application significantly. Usually we're talking about a short 60-second video that includes a short summary, kind of like when you see a movie trailer. That's probably the best example we can provide to you, where it basically gives a summary of your business, of your idea, what it is that you're going to be pitching to investors. And you want this to be a teaser for your story. So you want to leave the audience wanting to hear more about your business or your business idea. So It is something that if you need help with, please feel free to reach out to us directly, so that we can help you with this portion if you have additional, questions about the video itself. But I know I wanted to make sure I included this question in here because that was one of the most frequently questions we were getting. So with that, I would like to open it up to have an open discussion. I know that, I wanted to allow this time for those of you that may have specific questions. We can, log into the actual profile itself if you're needing if you need to address a specific area within the application. Again, just want to leave our contact information there if you haven't already reached out to us for assistance or if you have any questions. There's our contact information so you can reach out to us. So with that, I'm going to stop share. I'm going to look in the chat to see if there's any questions that we may have. So the first question that's on the chat, do you have to join FHF Entrepreneur application and pay $99 to apply for the pitch competition? And is there a student discount? So as the question has been answered, the application fee is $99. What we do have is a fee waiver if you have been part of pitch competition in the past and have won a pitch competition. We are willing to provide you with a fee waiver. The next question is, can I submit multiple business idea under one application? The answer is no. You can only submit one idea per application or one business per application. And I think once you get into the application portal itself, you'll be able to see that it's going to be a little complicated for you to submit multiple ideas in one application portal. So you want to make sure that it's only one business or one idea per application. The next question is, I am in Arvin, can I apply? If you're referring to Arvin, California, yes, you can apply. What is the maximum or minimum we can ask from investors? This pitch competition is for $100,000. Now, there could be the potential, we mentioned this during the last time, that it could be that $100,000 is what your company is seeking, or it could be that you could be seeking more dollars outside of that. So let's say that one of the examples I gave is if right now you're looking for $200,000, and this pitch competition will help you get the $100,000. You just have to be prepared to be able to say how you're going to be acquiring the rest of those funds, whether it's going to be from additional sources of financing, additional investors, friends and family. You just have to be prepared to say how you're planning to get the rest of the investment. But if right now $200,000 is what's going to help you get to where you need to be, it's okay to say that you're looking for $200,000, even though this pitch competition is for $100,000. You never know what could happen. One of the things that we mentioned during the last session was that this will also give all of the businesses and the semifinalists and the finalists opportunities to get exposure. So it could be that through this competition, you get outside investments, which would be great for your business. So if you are needing to request or your business is needing more than $100,000, it's okay to put that in your application. Okay, so the next question is, regarding the return on investment. Basically, if you potentially get a $50,000 investment, you would have to generate $500,000 in 5 years. So what we look for is for the businesses that have the potential to scale, just like I mentioned in the presentation, that you would have a return on the investment up to 10 times return. It doesn't mean that for you to win this competition, that's exactly what you need to have. But if you're looking in terms of what you provide in your example, yes, that could be an example, but it's not a requirement, and that's not necessarily how things have to go for this particular pitch competition. What are the waiver qualifications? For you to get the application waiver, you must have won a pitch competition in the past, and any evidence that you have that you've won a pitch competition in the past is what how we can provide you with an application fee waiver. I know in some instances it can be like an article that was published where you were mentioned as the winner, or you have a certificate where you were awarded with a certificate for winning a pitch competition. We can use that to provide you with the application fee waiver. The next question is, can you please guide me to the link to apply for the application? Okay, so would you like me to demonstrate it? Is that what you're asking here? Would you like me to do a live demonstration to the application link? Yes, okay. I am more than happy to do that. So what I'm going to do is let me just look through some of the other questions here, see if I can answer that briefly, and then that way we can get back to the application. Can you share the link to the GUS platform? Okay, I'm going to ask one of my team members, Jasmine, if you can please help me plug in the link in the chat. That way we can have that there for everyone. How long is the video we have to submit? So it's a very short video, so we're asking 60 seconds. And one of the things that I also want to mention is it doesn't have to be a professionally made video. When we send the recording of this session here, we can also send it with additional resources. We can actually even send you an example of a video of what it can look like. A very quick 60-second video. You can actually record it with your phone. You can have somebody recording you. It's not something that you need to have produced by a professional. This is something that, it can be just a brief synopsis of what it is that you're pitching, what your business idea is, or your product or services that you're pitching, something very brief and straightforward. If I want a pitch competition in the Central Coast, but now I live in Fresno, do I qualify for the fee waiver? Yes, of course. Send us an email with that information and we can provide you with an application waiver. The next question is, how often do you have a pitch competition? So this is very exciting for us. This is we've been having a few pitch competitions for cash prizes. However, this is the first pitch competition we have for an investment. We are looking forward to being able to host this as an annual event from anywhere from 1 to 2 pitch competitions for investments that we're looking to host here on moving forward. But the one that we will be hosting at the end of this year or in the fall in November, this will be our first annual pitch competition for investment. However, we do provide different pitch competition opportunities for grant and cash prizes. So for the investment itself, this is the first annual competition that we're going to be hosting, and we look forward to hosting that every year. What are the terms of getting a contribution? So for you to get an investment, so this is going to be completely up to you how you pitch this to the investors, right? Historically, when these type of investments are provided to businesses, they are done with convertible notes. What that means is that you may say, I'm looking for a $150,000 investment for a 3-year term with a convertible note after 3 years. So what that means is that for the first 2-3 years, you're going to treat it as a loan. And potentially, if you get where you want to be, you can pay that back with, the interest term that you agreed to the investors. Or after 5 years, the convertible note means that it turns into equity into your business. So, it really depends on you, your business model, how you're pitching that you're going to have a return on the investment. It really depends on how you offer it. So a lot of you may be familiar with a Shark Tank, for example, right? So when the individuals walk in there, they provide their elevator pitch and they say, this is what I'm looking for. And then once the investors are interested, then they start negotiating the terms. So this is something that will be similar. Once you are there in front of the investors, you provide them with your pitch, what terms you're looking at. They may come back and they'll try to renegotiate those terms with you. So, um, you know, just so to answer your question, at the end of the day, it really depends on what you're going to offer to the investors and how they're going to respond to that to try to negotiate those terms with you. So the next question is, when is the hard cutoff date that the investors look at the application that we can edit our profile anymore? So after August the 4th, I would say you probably have no more than a couple of days. Investors will start meeting next week. And I believe the first time they'll be meeting is Wednesday. So after the deadline Friday, August the 4th, you probably may have a couple of days. Now, let me just make this clear. You have to submit your application by August the 4th. We must be able to see it in our portal by August the 4th. After that, you can still make adjustments, but if we don't see it by the deadline on August 4th, then you will not be part of the pool of applicants that we look at. So just to be clear, you must submit your application by August the 4th. After that, you will have a couple of days, I would say by August the 8th, to make any slight adjustments. Other than that, your application, has a chance that it may not be considered if we don't see it in the pool of applicants by the deadline. Okay, is FHF membership required to receive the funds? No, you are not required to be a member of the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation to participate in this pitch competition and to receive the investment. However, we do encourage you to reach out to us if you're interested in learning more about our membership program. We have different great benefits, one of which includes networking opportunities. If that's something you're looking to grow your network, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to connect you so that you can learn more about our membership program. Okay, how does the investment work? I think I did touch on that already, but if you need further clarification, please let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the application here so that I can show you what that looks like. Let me just pull it up. Give me a few minutes to pull it up. I'm just going to switch profiles here just in a few moments. Okay, so when you click on the link that was plugged into the chat, you'll see that there's an application link, and this application link is also available on our website, and it's also available through the info sessions that we have been recording. It's going to take you here. This is the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation application portal as an investor. If you do it outside of this, we're not going to be able to see your profile because you're not going to be submitting to us. You're going to be submitting to someone else. So you have to make sure that when you create your profile, you are doing it through our Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation Angel Fund profile, and that you click here on Apply for Funding. When you submit this, when you see that there's an application fee here and that you have to create an account for you to log in. So let me go ahead and log in under our test profile so you can see what that looks like. Okay. Let me go ahead and try it, and let me stop sharing real quick. I'm going to try another way just so that I can log in. Bear with me here just a few minutes while I pull that up. Okay. Okay, so once you log in, once you create your account and log in, this is what it's going to look like. This is your home tab, this is your company profile tab, this is all the information that you're going to be filling out. Here are some tools and services. Remember that evaluate feature I told you about? If you click here on this evaluate feature, basically it asks you different questions, right? For example, it'll say, do you have any other key team members? So you'll put in their name, and then here to the right, it starts giving you different tips. Once you complete this whole section, it's going to ask you questions about your team. It's going to ask you questions about the company. It's going to ask you some traction. What's your revenue? What were your sales recently? Once you complete all of that, it'll give you evaluation at the end. And I'm just going to click through this. That way you can see what it looks like at the end. Click here. So this is the type of feedback this feature tells you. So, it basically tells you your revenue growth is trending in the right direction. It could tell you, moving increasing number of units suggests that you can solve your customer problem. So it gives you a lot of feedback based on the information that you're providing about your company profile. It'll give you some information about who may be interested in your venture. It'll tell you what that may look like. It kind of tells you where your team in context. It'll tell you where you're at, whether you have a chance of getting funded or not, would not fund or funded with confidence. So I would suggest you use that feature so that you can have some good constructive feedback about the information you're plugging into your profile. It'll also give you some insight as to what are the strengths that your team has that based on the information you have provided. It'll also give you some areas of improvement. So this is a very neat feature that this portal has. So please make sure that you take advantage of it. Let me switch back to the homepage and I'm going to look at the company profile. One of the things I do want to mention, some of the questions people are asking us, this is basically the different sections for you to complete your profile. If you don't have all of these 4 selected in green with the check mark, that means you are not done. It means that you may be missing some information. So make sure you double check each section that you're completing it so that it can mark these sections complete and that you are able to submit, this application. When you click on company profile, there's different tabs here for you to be able to fill it out and ask and provide the information that it's asking you for. This is a section here where you can upload your video. Again, it can be 60 seconds. It can be from your iPhone. We will send some resources when we send the recording of this session to you so that you can have any additional resources you may need when you put together this quick 60-second video. Again, the video itself is not a requirement, but we do recommend it because it could be very helpful when investors are reviewing your application. The next tab here is the area where you want to upload your pitch deck. Basically, whether it's PowerPoint or PDF, whatever version you are going to create for your pitch deck, this is where you upload it. In the previous information session, we were able to share a template and we also shared some key points as to what is the best way to create your pitch deck and what are must-haves on a pitch deck. The next tab is the executive summary. So here, you talk about who is your management team, what is the problem that your product or service is solving, who is your target market, what is your business model. This is where you're going to plug in information about your company or your business idea. Next is a section about financials. I know one of the questions we were getting was, oh, well, I haven't made any sales yet. If you haven't made any sales yet, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean you have to have financial, historical financials for this application. Basically, you say what you have, right? Or if you don't, let's say that you've had maybe only 1 month of sales, then you plug in 1 month of sales. It could be that you're pitching an innovative idea and you don't have any sales yet. That is okay as well. You don't need to have financials to be able to submit this application, but whatever background information you may have, or if you have projections, I recommend that you do include that in there. And then the last one is documents that you can upload. So for example, your business plan, the projections that I just mentioned about, any additional documents that you think would be beneficial for the investors to review. Maybe you have a letter of commitment from some client, or maybe you already have some contracts. These are some of the supplemental documents that would be beneficial for you to include in here. There's not too much information that you can provide to investors that are reviewing this. Any information, just like when we mentioned about the pitch deck, any information that is not part of the template or that is not being asked of you in the portal that you feel may be beneficial for the investors to know, this is the area that you want to include it. This is the area where you want to upload them. I'm going to go back to the chart real quick because I just want to make sure that I am addressing. I know some of you wanted me to go through the application portal. I don't know if there's a section in particular that you wanted me to review or to go over. Okay, so I have a question here. Can you click on stage? Is there a particular question in that section that you wanted me to address? Please feel free to unmute yourself, and also if you have any specific questions. I'm going to stop share for just a quick second here in case anybody wants to unmute themselves. As again, I want to make this as interactive as possible so that we can help answer any questions you may have.
I have a question about
Yes.
time frame. So Friday is the deadline. So what's the time? Midnight or what?
Yes, Friday midnight.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So with that, I'm going to put our contact information back on the screen for those of you that may not have. Let's see here. Our contact information, please feel free to reach out. I will go ahead and type it in the chat as well. So I went ahead and plugged in my information in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And if you have any further questions, would like a one-on-one consultation, you can also give us a call. I would be more than happy to assist you. So with that, I will conclude this session. I will stick around for a few more minutes just in case anybody has any last-minute questions. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we're looking forward to seeing all of your applications.
Yeti, I have a quick question,
Yes.
just quickly. I know this is considered an elevator pitch and it's supposed to be kind of like a high level view of exactly what our business idea is supposed to be, but considering the level of interest and, perspectives from our investors, how detailed is this, are you looking for exactly? Like really in terms of financial, like really specifics, or kind of more like I said, like a high level view?
We are looking for high level view. However, this is what I can tell you. You need to have enough information to grab the investor's attention. One of the things that we have talked about is that once we have the top 10 to 12 individuals selected, we will go and work with them one-on-one because they will have the opportunity to come and pitch to the investors in person before going to the finale. So before they go to the investors and pitch to them personally in front of them, we will provide them with additional guidance and training to strengthen their pitches, to make sure that they have, the financials, in order, that we can help them make sure that they're prepared before they go in front of the investors. So for this initial application, you don't necessarily, like I mentioned, you don't necessarily need to have everything perfect, ready to go, but you do need to have enough so that your application can stand out from the rest. So I hope that helped answer your question.
No, it does. Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. I will go ahead and stop the recording.